Hello, welcome to Blogging for Programmers. Today I want to talk about a topic I really, really hate, and that is pictures, or it didn't happen. Now, I like taking pictures. I have taken hundreds of thousands and posted thousands and thousands of pictures of theme parks. I like taking pictures. I like putting them in my blogs. I like when I go to a conference now, one of the things I do my best to do is take a side trip somewhere and get some pictures. Sometimes it is a theme park if I'm lucky. Sometimes it's just a picture of a sunset or a stream or something along the way or a landmark. But when you're blogging, it's good to put pictures. It's not too bad to have key images so when your stuff shows up in places, you get a picture. I haven't been doing that in my current blog. It's just a lot of work, and you've got to find pictures and you've got to own the copyright. Okay. That's hard enough for some of the things we're going to talk about, but it's much harder for, you know, images that are really specific. And if you want to go take those pictures, that's great. It's a really good thing. I thought about doing flower pictures at one time, just do a flower for everyone, but it just never felt like what I wanted. We started doing that a couple of summers ago on Simple Talk. And I love that because I had a subscription to Shutterstock, and being able to pick some pictures. There was my favorite one I did was temporary tables. So Joe Selko had written a post on temporary tables. I'll put this in the show notes, hopefully, if I remember. But he had done one on temporary tables. And I was like, man, what can I put there that says temporary table? And it finally hit me, a camping table, a little temporary table. And I was just so proud about that. Nobody else probably noticed, but I was really pleased with that. And that's a timeless picture. 10 years from now, that temporary little table is going to be there. Just works. But where pictures get complicated are diagrams and screenshots. Diagrams are fantastic. They really will tell things and show more than words can, but you need to do your own diagrams. And that's where it gets complicated. A lot of people are trying to use, and this is on LinkedIn a lot, because I see this mostly on LinkedIn, but because people are really trying to be a little fast and cheap there, some more than I would hope you would do. But they use AI, and AI can draw some pretty nice looking diagrams. It also misspells things. It also gets things wrong. So if you want to use AI to create your diagrams, that's fine. Just be ready to edit them yourself. And if you describe them well enough, you probably can get really close. But don't just trust that works. Screenshots. Okay. Screenshots are my least favorite thing to put in a article. And I'll tell you why. They date your work very quickly. Every time they change the look and feel, every time they come up with something like dark mode, which is my absolute favorite thing now, because my eyes cannot handle the brightness anymore. But every time they change something, they change the dialogue, it's just really hard. And fortunately, I've been in a business, databases, where SQL has been the same for a long time. It keeps adding to it, but it's a text-based thing. And if you can do things in text, more's the better. So even command line. So if you're going to write something in command line, put that in the text of your article blog so you can grab it and people can execute it just like it is. And the output, if you can format it, find a way. There's some things in WordPress that'll format your code for you, even in the lower, cheaper, even the free version had something that let me format my code well enough. Maybe I'll do a post on that sometime later and show how I format my blogs. But, do what you can to put it on in text if it's possible. And if you can't, then, screenshots are great. Big pieces of code, don't just put them in an image. And and here's a really interesting thing. So if you have a big piece of code and you want to show it, you may be tempted to put that in an image because you can make smaller fonts and format it. And that's great. But make sure you have that text somewhere. You can put it on your website and media, it's a text file. so they can download and view it. Maybe you have a GitHub repository for your stuff. I need to do that. That's another one of those got to slow down writing and do some infrastructure work kind of things I have. But make sure that people can get to it. Now, if you're going to store the code off site, like not in the blog, make sure it matches, because that is really, really annoying. If you put something in an image, or you put something, even the text on the screen, and that's not exactly what you store in your code repository, without a comment saying why, that will really drive you crazy, because you think the code works. You've looked at it on the screen, you know it works, you copy it, you paste it, and it doesn't work. And then you have to go debug someone's code. Not cool. So images are good. Screenshots are good. If you can avoid it, the better. There's a lot of posts that are just like, here's how you do some task in Fabric and Azure and Snowflake or whatever, whatever command module you're working in. It's not text-based. And, there's a screenshot and screenshot, 16 screenshots. And they change that stuff so fast. Even Management Studio these days is changing really fast. Even, all the tools are changing fast. I would say be a little wary of AI. Don't use too much of it. We talked about it early in this post. I've got a note here to remind myself. I used AI for my podcast images because I couldn't think of a real picture. And if you can't come up with something and you're not making money on your site, if you're making money on your site, I would ask you, try not to use AI as much as possible. But if you're doing this for free, like most of us are, I would suggest, do what you can. Use a little AI. Trying to make it look too AI. It is tilting with tuples, and windmill is the illusion. If I go to a place with wind turbines, I will make something that looks, tilting with tuples. I'll probably use my lightsaber that I have up on the wall behind me. I'll probably use my lightsaber in the windmill and do something. But until then, I use the AI, and I'm okay with that. I used Copilot. I know it's as safe as it can be. It's still mimicking the work of others, but somehow I don't really know I don't know how it draws the work from others. I need to learn that, I suppose, but it's crazy just how much it can do. So again, use images. Images can make your paper look colorful. It can make your blog look colorful. It can make things look good, but make sure it's your images, or you've got permission. At the very worst, say where you got a diagram, and if you put a diagram, explain it. Don't just, here's a picture of a diagram, and then you don't explain what's on it. All right. I hope this makes sense. I know this is a little bit scattered today. I just want to say, images, use as few as you can, but use them as much as you need to get your point across. All right. Thank you very much. See you next time.